Hey everyone, and welcome to another Adventures Out video. I'm back in my garden. This time it's not a science experiment. It's a bit more of a, I wouldn't call it a tutorial because this is not me telling you how you should do things, but this is me telling you how I do things. And this one is specifically about how I set my cameras up on my Sandbanks Style Optimal single person inflatable kayak. I get a couple of comments asking me how I do it, and I see a lot of people in the forums on the Facebook site asking how people film their trips and stuff like that. So I want to show you how I do it. Obviously I'm a YouTuber, so I take a lot of video. You may just want a little bit of video, so you can maybe take bits and pieces from what I do and apply it to your own trips, or you might want to start your own YouTube channel. Who knows? Best of luck to you if you do. It's hard work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to inflate my boat in the garden. I'm going to talk you through what cameras I use and how I attach them to the boat, and then generally sort of the concept of how I film my shots. I've got a random box of camera gear and kayak gear which definitely needs to be sorted, so don't look too hard at that. It will be sorted and better looked after, I promise. My plan is to do this video probably every year because I'm still learning, to be honest with you, and my camera gear is upgrading all the time. I'm going to do this every year and go over the sort of lessons I've learned. Let's get the boat out, let's get it blown up, and let's get through it. So the first thing I want to show you is my drone. This is what I use to get my aerial views. Currently, I say currently because I have actually ordered a new drone, which will probably replace this drone. I bought this because it was pretty cheap as drones go, so I figured it would probably be fairly disposable, but I still get drone anxiety every time I launch it. It's not great in the wind, it's not got a very good camera on it, and it's not great over water. In terms of hitting things with it, it's fairly robust. It's got enclosed propellers, means it's maybe less efficient, but if it hits a branch or something like that, it's probably not going to break. The other thing I don't like about it is the RC controller requires using my phone. I should have got the pack with the better controller with the built-in, essentially a built-in Android tablet and screen, and it's sort of two bits of kit that could potentially get damaged while I'm messing about with my drone, the phone and the RC controller. The case I bought separately, I probably should have plumbed for a completely waterproof case. This one is it's fairly hard, but it's not completely hard, and also it's not waterproof, so it has to go in a dry bag, whereas I should have got sort of a Pelican style case, which means it would have been waterproof on its own and I could have just tied it to the boat. These are all lessons learned, and hopefully my new drone will make more of an appearance on the channel because it will be much more robust and easy to use over water. But let's get this up in the air and get the rest of the video filmed. Okay, let's start by putting the seat in so you can see where everything sits in relation to where the seat sits and where I sit. Okay, that's the seating. Let's start with the camera that we put on the back deck. So the camera I use on my back deck is my little GoPro Hero 10 Black. I've had this for about 3 years now. Bought it for my snooker channel, but I have enjoyed using it filming kayak trips as well. It doesn't owe me anything, it's all bought and paid for. I bought it second hand actually for Facebook Marketplace for not much money at all, really, considering how much they were new at the time. So yeah, it doesn't owe me anything, so I kind of feel like this camera is semi-sacrificial. So for the back deck, I use a fairly beefy, flexible tripod. It's got, you know, flexible, but you know, they stay in the same place arms, so I can sort of shape it to the shape of the boat where I'm putting it. It's by a brand called Newer. It's got a standard camera screw in there, but it can also, if you want to use it to attach a phone to, I've never used it for that, but you can use it to attach a phone to. It's also got a quick release joint at the top there, so you can put the camera at pretty much any angle. You can also put an additional mount on the side here, so if you have like a microphone or something like that you want to add, you can also add it there. So what I do then is I put this as far back as possible, put the legs underneath the bungee, tie down, luggage rack, and then I try and shape the legs so that they essentially try and grip you know, the surface of the boat, sort of bending them slightly out of shape and then pushing them onto the deck so they kind of grip onto the deck. Next, on top of this goes essentially like a single tripod extension. It's slightly telescopic, but not very much. It doubles its length, but it is quite nifty. And basically that screws onto my tripod. What you've got to do is open this up, not open that up. You've got to open this up, and then the screws in from the bottom to get it nice and tight. It's got another standard camera screw mount at the top for the next part of the camera assembly. But first of all, the next thing I do is firmly secure that tripod to the boat a bit more because the luggage straps are not enough. So how do I secure it more? Is I use bungee cord, and what I do is I loop that round and then hook it onto the D-rings. And what I do is I do it opposites so that it doesn't pull the camera mount out of shape. And then yeah, so then this one goes around that way. And like that. And then yeah, just have to sort of get everything back into position so that the mount is pretty much vertical. And the next part of the puzzle is one of these floating GoPro mounts, which you've probably seen if you see my dry bike test video. I tested one of these for how waterproof they are because they have got storage in them to store some bits and pieces. If this whole assembly came off, I don't think this would be enough to keep it buoyant, but if only this bit came unscrewed, then this grip would keep the GoPro afloat. It's got the standard action camera mounting there that we're going to use for the GoPro. Next then is the GoPro. That just sits in its mount and attaches with a standard GoPro or action camera accessory. That gives me a pretty good over the shoulder shot. I can lift the camera up to a higher height. I would quite like it to go a bit higher, but this is quite a wobbly assembly. So I do think I want to improve this perhaps with a larger tripod so the legs actually come up like a proper tripod. I think that will give it a bit more stability. You can see sometimes when I'm filming that this has got a bit of a wobble on and the stabilisation isn't good enough to completely remove it. If I'm paddling on a sea where it's possible I'm going to get tipped out, and this assembly is going to come off, I'm going to add a secure line to it. What I do is I put a wire through this part of the mount here and attach it to the D-ring. So I've got lots of these wires. They're sort of retaining wires. You've just got a loop on the end and a single strand of wire. It's also covered in plastic, so the thing I don't like about them is these metal buckles at the end. They're a bit sharp and I wouldn't want to catch and puncture my boat, so I may look to replace these with something a little bit higher quality. What this allows me to do is put one of these through the bottom of this grip, loop it back on itself, and then use a carabiner and by securing it to a D-ring that's actually close to my seat means that I can potentially reach it without getting out of my seat, essentially, if it falls in the water, and assuming that I don't as well. And that's the rear camera assembly. Let's turn it on and use it to film me setting up the front camera assembly, which is much simpler. Before I show you how I set up my front camera, please do click the thumbs up button to like this video, and if you're watching without subscribing to the channel, it makes me sad, but please do consider subscribing. That would make me happy. Let's get on with it. So for the camera at the front of my boat, I decided to go for a 360 camera, and this time it's a GoPro Max 360 camera. This is not the new one that's just come out, the Max 2. This is the Max 2025, the sort of refresh of the basic camera, so it's not quite as good, it's not as good a resolution as the one that's come out, and it lacks a few other features, so this may be upgraded at some point, but for now it does me just fine. So for the front of the boat, I actually use a slightly different tripod, and that's mainly because I don't have a second flexible tripod, and I actually find it works better, so I may end up looking for something similar to this, maybe a little bit higher quality than this one, but to replace this one and the one at the back, because I think this might give a bit more stability, or I might look for something with a bit more, that's more classic tripod with the legs that go up to the camera. It sits on the boat and again goes underneath the mount. You can see it sort of slides around a little bit, but you see it actually fits quite neatly on the boat there. It doesn't sit, you know, only the points of the tripod touch the boat. It doesn't sit on the deck, and it means that it's pretty sturdy because it hasn't got the flexibility in the legs. So it's directly on top of this tripod. I'm going to put my other floating grip, my float grip. Already got the safety restraint attached, but all I need to do is screw this onto the mount. Now typically I would actually put this on before I put the tripod on, but since I'm showing you systematically how I build it, I've done it slightly differently. Again, that would just clip. It's a bit longer than it needs to be because it was before on top of the extension, so I might put a shorter version of this on. But again, that just clips to one of my front. My D-ring's close to me, so again, if I can reach it if I need to. I suppose I could shorten it that way. And then finally, the camera. Now this GoPro, because it's new, it does actually have a standard camera screw base, so I don't necessarily need to use the GoPro mount, but I am going to. And there we have the front camera mount all done. Oh, I forgot something. With this one I also just use a couple of bungees, again to keep it in position, help keep it in position. These bungees probably need replacing a little bit. They're a little bit losing their elasticity, but you can see that is pretty solid there on the board. It's a 360 camera, so the actual angle of the camera doesn't matter too much, so it doesn't matter that it's not exactly straight. Yeah, I think that fits quite nicely. It's quite secure. It's obviously got the backup of the metal strap if needed, and hopefully shouldn't come to any grief. I am still quite precious of this camera, so I probably would, as you saw on my trips in Cornwall, I would take it off if I'm going to be doing anything that's likely to tip me out, mainly because of the lenses. They are very delicate. Because they protrude from the camera body, they are easily scratched, so that's probably why I wouldn't risk it. But I do want to upgrade to the GoPro Max 2 at some point, probably next year, maybe the year after, we'll see. Maybe when it comes down in price a little bit. So yeah, that's my camera setup. The only thing additional to that is I just use my phone in my pocket to film anything that I need to zoom in on or anything like that, you know, one of these cameras might not be able to pick up. The beauty of the 360 camera is it gives me two views. It gives me my face cam, so when I'm talking to you guys I can create a specific face cam view from that camera, and then also if I'm talking about something that I can see on my trip, if I haven't filmed it with my phone, then I can grab some footage of it from the 360 camera. I have got a big camera which I've been filming this on. I haven't yet had the nerve to take this out on the boat with me. It was pretty expensive for me. Obviously not waterproof in any way, but it does take pretty good photos and actually really good video. So at the moment I don't think I'd risk taking it out on my boat. Maybe in a couple of years time, again when it doesn't owe me anything. It's not like I owe any finance on it or anything like that, but if I lost this now, I couldn't afford to replace it. I don't want to risk it at the moment, and even then I'd probably only use it on canal trips and very calm water. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. That is how I set up my cameras. There's always room for improvement. Let me know in the comments if you've got any other suggestions of how I can better mount these cameras, and any other ideas of how you might get different angles from your cameras and things like that, because these are obviously fixed positions, so they're very much, they are as I set them up for the day. If you haven't tried filming your kayak trips yet, I do highly recommend it. It is great fun to watch them back, and hopefully you got some tips on how you might do it. If you've got any questions about this or anything else about my kayaking, feel free to send them in. At some point I'd quite like to do a Q&A video or something like that, but it's probably a long way off there yet, maybe for like a 500 subscriber special yet, which I may be getting a bit ahead of myself. But otherwise, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.